Hi guys, thanks for clicking on my video. So I'm going to talk about my pregnancy test line progression in this video, and it's not going to be your standard, it just got darker and darker. I want to address some of the questions that I had, and hopefully it'll be helpful for you. And one was, could I be getting false positives? If I'm not getting a progressively darker line, is there an issue, and am I potentially not pregnant? And also, are the Amazon cheapy test strips reliable? So first, just want to give you a little bit of a backstory on me if you haven't been following my channel. So my husband and I had previously been trying to conceive for 8 months. I missed my period, didn't have any other pregnancy symptoms, was convinced I was not pregnant and just like completely missing my period. I was 2 weeks late at the point that I got like the faintest line on a pregnancy test. And of course I had been testing every single day, like weeks before my period was even due to like 2 weeks after. So I'd been testing, and hadn't gotten a positive. So this is my chart, and day 0, obviously a negative. Day 1, I got like the faintest line in the morning where I was like, is that a line? Is it not a line? And I texted my best friend, and I was taking photos of it, and I was looking at it in different lighting. And I had situations in the past where there was like an indentation in the stick, or there was an evaporation line, like on the first response ones where there's the little window. And if you're getting an indentation or an evaporation line, those are negative results. If you are getting any sort of color, that is a positive, even if it's the faintest color. Now, there is exceptions to where maybe you have an expired test or a faulty kit, or there's something else going on with your hormones that are throwing the test off, but those things are really, really rare. And if your tests aren't expired and, you got them from a place that, the test strips were well reviewed, you probably have a positive on your hands. So congratulations. So I didn't even tell my husband the first day because I was like, this could just be like a false positive. It was so faint. And at night I took it again, and it was like the same darkness, just super faint. So I'm like, okay, the HCG, once you're positive, it's gonna like double so rapidly, and I should get like a much darker line and know for sure tomorrow. So I don't know if I ended up telling my husband that first night or the next day, but I took another result in the morning, and it was like the same darkness. So it wasn't any bolder at all. And I was like, oh, maybe it's just these tests. I was only taking like one kind of Amazon test. I'll link them below. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm not really sure. And at this point I had told my husband, and so I was like, I'm just gonna go get another test. Like, First Response is one of the most well-known brands. They have great reviews. The test strips that I was using were early detection, but the First Response are as well, and they're so much more expensive. You'd think they'd be way more reliable. So I went and got a 3-pack, and the test had the faintest line as well. And also, what made me really hesitant about the Amazon strips is I started reading some of the negative reviews. I mean, they were a really well-reviewed product, like thousands and thousands of reviews and almost a 5-star. But of course, there's going to be those negatives. So I read some reviews that girls had gotten like a batch where they were all false positives, and I was like, oh, maybe that's happening to me and I'm not really pregnant. So I went out and I got the First Response ones, and I didn't wait longer than the 3 minutes it told you to wait, because I also read that if you wait too long, the test results aren't valid. So it was positive after just 3 minutes, so I was feeling more reassured. Then the next day, my Amazon tests were bolder, but my First Response test, I took another one, and it was completely negative. So I'm like, okay, I'm still not really sure what's going on. So I just wanted to shed some light on the fact that you may not be on like an upward trajectory. It may not be this cookie cutter thing where it's getting darker and darker. You may be faint for 3 days in a row like I was and getting mixed results from different tests, and it could just be like the specific pea that was on that stick. So just keep that in mind and don't get discouraged. Try a couple different tests if you're concerned, and do wait a couple days. I would say, like, you know, within 3 to 4 days, they should definitely start getting bolder, because on the 4th day, this one got a little bit smeared, but it was definitely like a for sure positive. And even though I had had that negative from the first response the day prior, I was like, okay, this is a for sure positive test. So I was really confident at that point, and then obviously it just progressed as it should from there, but those first 3 days were a little questionable. Also on this side, I did take some OPK tests, and I wanted to talk about this. So I'd read like ovulation predictor kits can also predict that you're pregnant, and my ovulation predictor kits, they are really, the test line is really, really light if I'm getting close to my period. And if you look at the LH chart, your LH level should be really low when you're approaching your period. So the fact that mine was fairly dark, it wasn't a positive, but it was way darker than it had been previously. I knew that like there was a good chance that could be a good sign. And then by day 4, my test line on the ovulation predictor kit was bolder than the control line. So if for some reason like you're traveling or you don't have access or you're scared to go to the store, you can use the ovulation predictor kits. Obviously not foolproof, but it might give you a better indication of what's going on, especially if you use them on a regular basis. So I hope this video was helpful, and definitely check out my channel. I have a lot of videos on my trying to conceive journey, and will definitely be tracking my pregnancy journey. So if you're on your TTC journey, good luck, and I hope to see you on the next one.